Welcome to Truth Is, episode 7. I debated on what I was going to do for this episode because I have two issues I wanted to discuss and not just talk about, but I was really led to make these videos. It's like unavoidable. The problem is that two problems are getting conflated with each other, and neither has anything to do with the other, really. Okay. My dog is... I got a big dog and a little dog. But anyway, this is about our country being infiltrated by Muslims, and it's not, again, it's not a racist issue, and that's why I'm going to make another video about racism. So let's get into it. Now, I'm going to get into I have a couple of little, some people call them memes, but most of my memes are actually like real information copied into a picture form so people can understand. So I think that's where the left fails in their memes, because they make stuff that's like total trash. It doesn't mean anything, and the few I've seen were so pointless. I don't know why they bothered to waste their time. They were stupid, you know. This woke idea is destroying our country, and here's the problem. And again, you look at me and you just assume I'm automatically that I'm some old white guy, but honestly, you don't know anything, because this is the problem with this whole race thing about whites, anti-whiteism, as Mark Dysart calls it, and black fragility, and all these other issues that seem to be coming up now. And I think Thomas Sowell said it best, is that when people get used to preferential treatment, equal treatment seems like discrimination. Excuse me. Okay. The thing is I am a mix. I'm an American 100% because I'm a mix. I'm a 100% melting pot, product of the melting pot. I have Native American, and I have more than one part of Native American. So I'm almost a third Native American. I have Hebrew, I have Egyptian. This is DNA proven too, so it's not just something I'm saying. I have Hebrew, Egyptian, Chinese, several nationalities of white, because I got French, English, German, Scottish, Irish. So you just sit and say, well, he's racist, or he's this, or he's that. You don't know anything. And I'm going to tell you something. In this whole notion about blacks, okay, Hebrew and Egyptian, I don't know where Hebrew came from, but I understand that the oldest language in the world, as far as the written alphabet, the oldest written alphabet was actually the Hebrew alphabet, despite most people thinking it's something else. No, it's Hebrew, and guess its roots were deep-seated in Africa. So you think you know everything. Again, Egyptian came from Africa, so I'm part Egyptian, so can I call myself African American? No. No, that's not what this is about. Okay, and again, it's not about religion either, because I want to get into that, because I believe in God. I was raised Christian. I was born Christian. And these people have this notion that we don't damn the sinner. We damn the sin. That's the difference. We don't say you're a bad person because you sinned. We said you made a mistake and you committed a sin. See, and that's where people get confused. Okay, and in the Christian churches I were brought up, we weren't taught to hate. Like, I don't know where this notion comes from, because I've heard some people say some crazy things, and we weren't taught to hate. We weren't taught to hate Krishnas or Buddhists, or now do we necessarily don't agree that their opinion about their God is not the same as our God. Our God is God, and that's the difference. I can comfortably say this, because it might surprise you all to know that I've been dead 3 times, okay? And when I met God, he didn't wear a turban. He didn't call himself Allah. He didn't call himself, he didn't even tell me his name, but I knew who he was. You know what I mean? I knew who he was. That's a long story. I was a kid when I first met him, so and I'd like to share his words before we get any further into this video. The words he spoke to me when he said something to me, because I couldn't really sit and look at him. I was a kid and I couldn't look at him. So all these people who say they looked on God, you say you looked on him. I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying I didn't, because I couldn't look at him. He was too bright. So he said to me, everything's going to be all right. So, you know, long before that song ever came out, you know what I mean? So everything's going to be all right. Now I want to get into something here. The idea of jihad. A lot of people have this notion that jihad is a holy war. It's not just a holy war. It's the final goal of a holy war, and getting to the state of their idea of a utopia, okay, of them taking over the entire world. And there's mega videos out there of Muslims saying that very thing, and if you pay attention and listen, they're talking about killing everybody and everything that is not Muslim, okay? I mean, seriously, you have to be blind not to see it. I could sit here and post 100 pictures on this video, and every one of them, not even one of them would make it. They would ban this video for one. I have videos and pictures of atrocities that would disgust you. I mean, there's atrocities like horrific, and I don't even like to look at them. They would give most of you nightmares for months and months, and it's men, women, and children. They make, if you make a mistake, they say they're peaceful, but when you make a mistake in their village, if you didn't wear your hijab, you might get stoned to death, or you might date a guy who's not a Muslim, and they'll kill you in the name of honor. They'll call it an honor killing. You have no clue how bad these people are. They betroth little children to a man, of grown men, and they marry them. Now, whether they consummate that marriage or not, now you look at Muhammad. He was a 6-year-old girl was betrothed to him. Was her name Aliyah or something like to that effect? And now they say he didn't consummate till she was like 12 or older. 12, still, even now, that's like, he would be called now. But y'all will ignore that because of your woke agenda about, let's let him in. No, let's not let him in. Because here's the issue. When you look at our Constitution, first off, Article 6 is called the Supremacy Clause. It says that any laws other than the Constitution are null and void in America. Sharia being that issue, because that's a set of laws that these people follow. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, that that shows to you it's not about race. It's not about race at all. Sharia law is a set of laws that are outside of our Constitution. Therefore, they cannot exist here. This country is a constitutional country, and the Constitution is the supreme law of this land. Number two, that very same law, Sharia, dictates that they do not make friends with infidels. And by infidel, they mean anyone who does not follow Allah or Islam. Okay? So all of you are infidels. Unless you're a Muslim and you're watching this video. And you know what I'm saying is true. Everybody who does not follow Islam is an infidel. So when they come to your country, they're going to wait till they have, when they first get there, what they do is they play victim. I'm the victim, oh, poor thing. Then they wait till they get more, and then they start acting up. Then they get more, they start actually becoming more active, bombings, and we've had that in America already. So they're already getting cocky here. They've beheaded many people here in the United States too. Several people have been beheaded, but you won't hear that in the news. You won't hear them talking about it. There's been people beheaded right here in the United States of America, and they don't talk about it. The news is complicit in this whole thing because the government's so woke. I want y'all to go to my channel and look up this video called Child Trafficking Map Compared to, and my channel's T-Dog 1966 on Rumble, so check it out. They're trying to destroy this country, okay? End of story. They're trying to destroy it on purpose. For what reason? I don't have any idea, but I always come down to the fact that maybe they're trying to get all the people to kill each other, and then it'll be easier for them to take over and dictate the world, I guess. I don't know what their ultimate goal is or why. Or they want to make Lucifer their god. I've seen enough issues now whether to prove this or not, that Allah was actually Baal, or B-A-A-L, Baal, and that Baal is Satan, is Lucifer. So again, whether that's true, I don't know, but I've seen a lot of material that points to that. And the morning star that you see in the little crescent, and then the star in the Islamic symbol, it's called Shahir. Is it called Shahir, which means the morning star? It's what they call Lucifer in the Bible, man. I mean, you have to start looking at the whole picture. You can't. And this thing, again, I'm not judging people by their race. I'm judging by their actions. And let's get into something else here. You take all the dictators in the world. You're talking about Mao, Hitler, Stalin, and all the people they killed. It's still not quite 240 million, right? Now, according to the stats I've seen on this, the most conservative estimate was that Islam had killed 240 million people, and that's why I used that number, 240 million. And all the dictators had killed less than that. But the less conservative estimates have that number up closer to 690 million people. You understand, that's over 500 million. That's over 500 million people that they've killed since their inception. And for what? For what? Because Allah said this, Allah said that. Hide behind the rock, strike the infidel in his back. Cut off the head of the infidel. I can go over a million things, and I'll include a little clip here, and you can go back and read some of it. These are the things that the Quran says. Now, again, I don't have anything against anybody's religion. If you're Krishna, you want to come over here, hey, if you don't want to agree to worship God, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, I think I should behead you. No. I will let you go about your way, and you worship Krishna or whatever you want to do. If you want to be an atheist, then that's your choice. You're in America, be an atheist. But I disagree with you. And I'll say that I disagree with you. But that doesn't give me the right to persecute you for your religion. And that's the other point I was making about the Article 6, is because when they come over here, they're saying, okay, it's all right for you to bring your Sharia, because from what I understand, and this is what I understand, that they repealed part of the act called the McCarran-Walters Act in 1990 under Bush Sr., that they repealed part of it that said that you had to renounce, and I don't know if I'm wrong about that. I could be. I mean, if I'm wrong, please, leave a comment. That you wanted to renounce, that you didn't have to renounce your belief in this other system of laws, that you didn't renounce these other laws, that you could just do whatever you want, And when you come to the United States, I'm going to post this too from Teddy Roosevelt. It's one of the best quotes I've seen from Teddy Roosevelt. Now, again, I don't hold anything against anybody from any race, any religion, unless you're trying to hold mine against me. And again, back to that point, that the First Amendment allows us, America, that Congress shall make no law that would interfere in our right to free speech or our right to protest our government or to practice our own religion. But when you're making a law that allows another race or religion to come here that believes a specific set of laws that are unconstitutional because they're against Article 6, that you're allowing them to come here and to persecute Christians for their faith. But they just don't persecute Christians. They persecute atheists. They'll certainly persecute the Satanists, but I'm not sure about that, because I believe their God is one and the same. But let's get into another one. Buddhists, Hindus, it doesn't matter. If you're any other religion than Islam, they will persecute you. So by you allowing them in, you're violating the First Amendment of every single person in this country. Again, it's your duty to protect the people in this country. And if they're atheist, agnostic, Muslim, or atheistic, agnostic, Christian, Buddhist, Krishna, you're protecting it. You're supposed to be protecting them, and you're allowing someone in who you already know by taking that part of the McCarran-Walters Act that is not adhering to the Constitution. Therefore, their actions can only be un-American towards anybody in America. Again, whether you're atheist, whether you're a Satanist, whether you're, whatever you are, you're allowing these people to come in who will persecute other people for their religion. So what you're doing is violating the Constitution. And then we can go into Article 4, Section 4. And I'm not going to go into that whole thing with the immigration, because that's another whole video. I want to do another whole video about blacks and whites and slavery, because there's a lot of lies and misconceptions about that. And a lot of people don't know what the hell they're talking about, blacks or whites. And I'm telling you, my family came over here from Canada. We were Canadian or French Canadian. We never owned slaves. We came down from Canada. We got in the Union Army. We fought against slavery. Okay? Then slavery ended. So then, now according to the stats, 95.4% of Americans never owned slaves. 95.4%. That was of the people who were here when slavery was going on. Then you had millions and millions, tens of millions of families that came here after slavery ended, and they were white, okay? Again, you're blaming white people for slavery. And now let's even look at the issue again of white slavery. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, because this is not about racism or slavery, but the United States had ships that were getting attacked in the early 1800s by pirate ships from the Barbary Coast. And they were Ottomans, Muslims. And they were taking white people as slaves and selling them in the Ottoman Empire. Irish got sold a lot. Irish were treated worse than black slaves. You don't believe it? That's too bad. You got to go read your history, because it's the truth. They would actually take, if a ship was out at sea, they had Irish slaves and black slaves, and they got stuck at sea and they got lost or went off course and they started running low on food, they would take the Irishman and throw him overboard and keep the black slave. So the Irishmen, again, were treated worse, and they would burn their feet off and stuff. I mean, they did horrible things to freaking Irishmen. But anyway, I got a little Irish in me too, so I don't know. Maybe I should be asking for reparations too. You know what I mean? But you know, I'm just kidding. I don't want your reparations. You know what? United States of America is a country that's being ran by a globalist bank that's giving you their money. They're not giving it to you. You're borrowing it from them, and you're paying them interest back on it. And what they're doing is saying now that interest goes back to them in the form of taxes, okay? Now, you want to take some of that, more of that money, and you want to take it from yourself to give to yourself with interest. So you don't understand the whole point of you asking for reparations. It's you stealing from your own piggy bank so you can pay more into it later. You don't get it. You don't get it. Their money is not our money. It's not the U.S. currency. It's a Federal Reserve note. It's not the U.S. currency. It's not run by our Treasury. Okay? But again, I'm getting back off the point that this country is in danger. Okay? These people want to dominate the whole world. They've said it over and over and over, and the woke people who are following these same globalists who own the world and the banks they're taking money from them to do all this stuff. Soros, all those, you think those are good guys? They're the ones destroying your life and destroying your world and destroying the country that allowed you to have the free speech and the freedom to go out here and act like the jackass that you are now, and to do what you're doing to destroy this country. And this country has been and was the original capitalist. And I'm going to tell you something. You don't know nothing about capitalism and socialism. And it was tried the right way. And again, if you want to go back and look at I have a little thing about the Mayflower. Again, there's a video also by Rush Limbaugh called The True Story of Thanksgiving. You need to go watch that, because socialism was tried the right way right here in the United States of America. Didn't that surprise a lot of people to find that out? The Mayflower Compact gave everybody an equal share of everything. Nobody owned anything. When they got here, there were certain people who were working, giving into the pot, and then everybody was taking from the pot, but then other people weren't working. So then the people who were working got tired of being the only ones who were working and paying in the pot. So they said, you know what, I'm going to sit back and just collect too. So then what happened? There was nothing getting put in the pot. You understand? Somebody has to work to make your iPhone, to make your car, you got to have somebody working. You can't just have, unless you think you're a king or queen, and you could just order everybody else to do the work for you. And that's where the whole problem started with to begin with, right? I mean, really. Then you're part of the problem, okay? You need to get your ass to work. I worked until I was disabled, and unfortunately, I'm getting treated worse than an illegal who came in here, okay? Now, again, we're going to be getting attacked by these people. If you don't get them out of our country, we're going to have a bigger problem here. They have camps all over this country, by the way, just so you know. We've already had people who went and tried to go into their camps. The Muslims are setting up spots, and they're training people to kill you in your own land. Okay? It doesn't matter if you're woke. They won't care. And if you're gay, they're going to throw you off the building. So you think you're going to get away with something? You're not going to get away with nothing, and they don't care about you. They let you think that they do, because that'll keep you defending the right of the government to bring all these people in here. That woke ideology, because that's the globalists, again, trying to destroy this country, because what they fear the most is a constitutional republic where they're going to be held responsible for their actions. That's why they hate Trump. That's why they hate all this stuff going on. And God bless anybody who stands up and says, you know what, I've seen it, I understand. I used to be a Democrat, brother, so you ain't teaching me nothing. I've already seen both sides. As a matter of fact, when I decided I was going to become a Republican, I looked at that and I looked at the two and I said, how could anybody ever leave the Republican Party to become a Democrat? Because that would mean that you've decided it's okay to be a lying piece of crap over telling the truth, because that's the truth. Now, the Republicans haven't always been perfect, but they were started to end slavery. Now, on the other hand, the Democrat Party was started in 1828 to fight against the Federalists, because Andrew Jackson wanted to win his election. But you know what Andrew Jackson did do? He stopped the second central bank from starting. Thomas Jefferson stopped the first one. Okay? But Thomas Jefferson was also the first one who fought against the Muslims in the Barbary Wars. Okay? They wore leather collars to keep their heads from getting cut off. And that's where the term leatherneck, heavy leather collars, it kept their head from getting cut off. Again, that's where the term leatherneck came from. The Marines, the United States Marines, because it was the Marines that went to the shores of Tripoli, you know. So you don't know anything about history. Again, even Thomas Sowell has come out and said, you know, look, decades after slavery was ended in America, the Ottomans were selling white slaves. Decades. And that's just what people know of, because they're still selling slaves today. There's still slaves in countries you're not talking about, none of them. And guess what? The most vast number of countries that are still selling slaves today are Muslim countries. Okay, again, they don't care about you. And if you think you've seen atrocities, give me an email address and I'll send you pictures that'll give you frickin' nightmares for months, maybe years. You will never recover. Okay? I've seen horrible, horrible things they've done to people. They are not, I wouldn't even say they're the root of evil, but they're evil. The whole religion is evil. It's not even a religion. It's a set of laws, and it's a scary set of laws. And again, as I told you, it's not about race. I don't care what race you are. I've dated women just about every race, except Chinese. And the funny thing is I have a little Chinese in me. I've never dated a Chinese woman, but I would. I mean, if she was nice looking, who knows? It's the point. To sit here and talk about racism in this country, it doesn't exist. I've lived all over the United States. I'm not saying, well, it doesn't exist, but there's so little of it. The amount it's being blown up by the media is ridiculous. It doesn't exist on that level. It doesn't. There's too many people I've known. I've known thousands of people all over the eastern half of the United States. I've lived in Savannah, Georgia, Houston, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, St. Louis, Missouri, New Jersey, Port St. Lucie, Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida. And again, the last person I met that was truly racist was in 1980. So your whole notion about racism is based on a lie, and that lie is being perpetuated by the media, and you're their sheep if you believe what they say. Again, you don't know what you're talking about. This country, the Muslims, they either need to reform their Bible or they need to be gone. They need to get out of the United States. There's not room for us, them, and their Sharia law and the Constitution in America. Take that shit and get out of here. Y'all have a nice evening.